Yes, Peter, good morning. Give me examples of two nitrifying bacteria.
Nitrosomonas and Nitrococcus.
Good. What is the other name for them? We also call them as?
Nitrobacter.
Nitrobacteria.
Chemoautotrophs.
Yes, we also call them as chemoautotrophs. When ammonia is converted to nitrates, it is not converted directly. First, ammonia is converted to?
Nitrite.
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 It is converted to nitrites. And then it is oxidized and converted to nitrates.
Nitrate.
Okay, tell me. In the first step, when ammonia gets oxidized to nitrite, which bacteria are involved? Name the bacteria, specific bacteria, not the category. In the first step. When ammonia is oxidized to nitrite, name the two bacteria which are involved in the process. Nobody knows the names.
Nitrosomonas and Nitrococcus.
Nitrosomonas and Nitrococcus.
Yes. And in the second step, nitrite is oxidized into nitrate. Then which one is involved? Which bacterium?
Nitrobacter.
So that means in the first step we had two bacteria, in the second step we had one. Which were the two in the first one? Please speak out, otherwise you'll not remember. See, this is learning.
Nitrosomonas and Nitrococcus.
Nitrosomonas and Nitrococcus.
Very good. Okay. Biological nitrogen fixation is what we are going to do today. Okay, just read this topic, biological nitrogen fixation. Only this paragraph and see this equation. Let me explain it to you. These chapters, beta, plant physiology is basically learning. So I can just explain it to you, but learning part has to be done. I have a homework for you this Monday. You will post till Monday, not Monday. Till Monday, you will post all the NCERT question answers of the chapter transport in plants. Is it okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
I have already, I think transport in plants, the notes, I have sent my notes. I'll send you the proper typed notes also today. And mineral nutrition notes you've already got, no? I had posted on the group. Yes or no? I don't know how many of you even bothered to see. This chapter notes, handmade notes I've already posted. And that chapter also. So today, please prepare NCERT question answers. Chalo, fatafat, very quick. Read this topic, biological nitrogen fixation, then we discuss. Read beta? See, we know we have nitrogen in the atmosphere, in the soil, available in the form of a molecule N2. We had already done this. But the problem is that very few organisms can use this nitrogen. We know that nitrogen is abundantly available in the air. I think this, you know this very well, the composition of atmosphere, you know. Which gas is present in the maximum amount?
Nitrogen.
Nitrogen.
And it is present in this form only, this molecule N2 form. But the problem is that very, very few organisms can use this nitrogen directly from the air. Only we have very few prokaryotic species who can use this nitrogen, who can fix this nitrogen for their purposes. So Nitrogen is reduced to ammonia because we cannot use nitrogen directly. So basically what is happening is nitrogen gets reduced to ammonia by living organisms. This process is called biological nitrogen fixation. We are fixing nitrogen. Fixing means we are converting the nitrogen to ammonia. And who is going to do it? Living organisms. That is why the term biological nitrogen fixation. Understand again. Nitrogen fixation means converting nitrogen to ammonia. Okay, nitrogen fixation, converting N2 to ammonia. And who is going to do this? Living organisms. So that is why this process is known as which nitrogen fixation?
Biological nitrogen fixation.
Very good. There is an enzyme which is going to help us, nitrogenase. But again, we have a problem. This nitrogenase enzyme is present only in prokaryotes. That is why in the beginning we said only some prokaryote species are capable of fixing nitrogen. The reason behind why prokaryotes can fix nitrogen, fix means can convert nitrogen to ammonia, is because of the presence of which enzyme in prokaryotes? You can see the name, this enzyme on the arrow. What is this enzyme?
Nitrogenase.
So these microbes, because they fix nitrogen, we can also call them as nitrogen fixers. See, beta, this is your nitrogen. Why do we, how many lines between this? Which bond? Single, double, triple. What covalent bond is there?
Triple covalent bond.
Yes. So we have a triple covalent bond over here. Very soon I'll be explaining it to you in this chapter only, how this is going to get converted into ammonia. Which enzyme is helping out? See on the arrow?
Nitrogenase.
Yes. These nitrogen fixing microbes could be free living or they could be symbiotic. They may be living free all on their own, not depending on anyone, or they could be living in symbiotic association. Let's have one example. Supposing I'll ask you an example of a free living nitrogen fixing microbe. This is an aerobic microbe, means it needs oxygen. It is Azotobacter. Name one free living nitrogen fixing microbe.
Azotobacter.
Yes. Special thing about Azotobacter is that this is aerobic. We have two which are anaerobic, but they are involved in the same function, nitrogen fixation. Okay. This is one, Bigenicia and Rhodospirillum. They have the same function. They are also nitrogen fixing, but they are anaerobic in nature. Bacillus, another one. This is also free living. In addition to these, the names we have done, we have more cyanobacteria such as Anabina and Nostoc. They are also free living nitrogen fixers. They are free living, they are not symbiotic, and they can fix what? They can fix nitrogen. So what have we done in this paragraph? Very quickly, a review. Do we have a lot of nitrogen in the air or very less amount of nitrogen?
A lot of.
Lot of abundantly available, lot of nitrogen. So can we all living organisms use that nitrogen directly?
No, ma'am. Very
No,
few.
ma'am.
Very few organisms. Eukaryotes or prokaryotes?
Prokaryotes.
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 Very few organisms, that is prokaryotes, can use this atmospheric nitrogen directly. Okay, they're known as nitrogen fixers because they can fix nitrogen. So when I say fixing of nitrogen means I'm converting nitrogen to
Ammonia.
ammonia. Very good. And we also talked about certain bacteria, microbes, which have the capacity to convert them. They may be free living or they may be symbiotic in nature. You give me examples of 3 microorganisms or 3 microbes, prokaryotic microbes, which can convert nitrogen to ammonia. Nitrogen fixers. Give me example of nitrogen fixers.
Azotobacter.
Yes, very good. Other students also, please speak out. Give me example of nitrogen fixers.
Anabina and Nostoc.
Yes, Anabina and Nostoc also. You can take free living microorganisms which can fix nitrogen. What do you mean by the word fix nitrogen?
Converting nitrogen to ammonia.
Yes, and when living organisms do this process of nitrogen fixation, that means they convert nitrogen to ammonia, then this process is known as
Biological nitrogen fixation.
biological nitrogen fixation. Is it okay? This topic is okay for everybody? Everybody knows what is biological nitrogen fixation?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
very quickly read symbiotic biological nitrogen fixation. Then I'll move on to the last and the most complicating topic of this chapter, nodule formation. That is a little complicated. Symbiotic biological nitrogen fixation, read quickly. Let's discuss. Read beta and who all are present need to speak also. Finish reading beta. Symbiotic biological nitrogen fixation. See now. We have many type of biological nitrogen fixing associations. Okay. Associations means two or more than two organisms working together. The most important term among them is the legume bacteria relationship. Which relationship is very important? Legumes and bacteria. See, we have rod-shaped rhizobium. Which bacteria are we talking about?
Rhizobium.
Because
Rhizobium.
very good. We are going to explain the relationship between a legume and a bacteria. So we are taking this example, rhizobium. It's a rod-shaped bacteria. This has a relationship with the legumes such as, let's have the name of the legumes. Alfalfa, sweet clover, sweet pea, lentils, garden pea, broad beans, clover beans, any one or two you can remember. We are studying a legume bacteria relationship. We have taken the example of bacteria rhizobium, which is rod-shaped. It lives in a relationship with legumes. I think garden pea is the easiest one and sweet pea is the easiest one for you to remember. You can just remember any two. Lentils, garden pea, sweet pea. The most common association on roots is as nodules. So how will you get to know that yes, there is an association? You will find this association in the form of what? Nodules. How will you find out that yes, there's an association between a legume and a bacteria? In the form of what? What will you find?
Nodules.
Nod.
Nodules.
Yes. What are nodules? Small outgrowths on the roots. From the roots, you will see small bulging structures. These outgrowths are known as nodules. We have a microbe, Frankia. This also produces nitrogen fixing nodules on the roots of non-leguminous plants. See, in case of leguminous plant, there was an association of this bacteria, rod-shaped bacteria, which we call as rhizobium. But even in non-leguminous plants, see this, I just talked about a non-leguminous plant, Alnus. What is the example of the non-leguminous plant?
Alnus.
Alnus.
Here, we talked about the association of the microbe Frankia. Frankia is a microbe. this also can produce nodules, but this will produce nodules on the roots of non-leguminous plants. So both Rhizobium and Frankia. Rhizobium makes nodules in the leguminous plants. Frankia makes it in the non-leguminous plant. Both of them are free living in soil. When they're living alone, they're free living. They don't need any other organism. But as soon as they become symbionts, matlab, they start living in association with the leguminous or non-leguminous plants, they start fixing atmospheric nitrogen. When they are alone, beta, free living, they do not fix atmospheric nitrogen. Neither Rhizobium nor Frankia. Rhizobium when it gets in association with leguminous plants, and Frankia when it comes in association with non-leguminous plants, that means in symbiosis, they start fixing atmospheric nitrogen. Supposing you get to see a plant of a pulse, you take it out before flowering, of course, you will see that there are almost spherical outgrowths on the roots. We just talked about outgrowths on the roots. What are these outgrowths called as?
Nodules.
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 Okay, you call them as nodules. If you cut through these nodules, you will see that the central portion of this nodule is red or pink in color because of the presence of hemoglobin. Because this hemoglobin is present in leguminous plants, we call it as leguminous hemoglobin, or in short, we call it as leg hemoglobin. What is this called as?
Leguminous.
Hemoglobin.
Leg is the short form for leguminous hemoglobin. So basically, we are talking about symbiotic biological nitrogen fixation. We talked about nodules. What are nodules?
Small
Small
spherical
out
outgrowths
on the root.
Yes. Do we have nodules only in leguminous plants or leguminous and non-leguminous both categories?
both categories.
Both the categories. Okay. Which kind of organism forms an association with leguminous plants for nodule formation?
Frankia.
Which bacteria?
Rhizobium.
Rhizobium. What is the shape of rhizobium?
Rod shape.
Rod shape.
Rod shape. Is it free living when it is all alone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Can it fix atmospheric nitrogen when it is free living and is living on its own?
No, ma'am.
No. It is only when it comes in association with which kind of plants?
Leguminous plants.
Leguminous plants.
Leguminous plants.
Give me two examples of leguminous plants.
Sweet clover.
Yes. So there will be an association between a bacteria and a leguminous plant. And this kind of an association will be which association? Parasitic, symbiotic, which association?
Symbiotic association.
Symbiotic.
Association. So on its own, it is not able to fix atmospheric nitrogen. But as soon as we have a symbiotic relationship, they start fixing what, beta?
Nitrogen.
Nitrogen.
Yes. It is not that only leguminous plants do symbiotic association to fix atmospheric nitrogen. We can also find this association in non-leguminous plants. What example of non-leguminous plant we did?
Alnus.
Frankia and Alnus.
Very good, very good. Alnus. Okay, this is the non-leguminous plant that we have, which comes in association. This comes in association with which microorganism?
Frankia with Alnus.
Frank.
Yes. So you need to learn that, make it very clearly that for fixing atmospheric nitrogen, there are certain symbiotic associations. These symbiotic associations can be with leguminous plants or with non-leguminous plants. We've done both the examples. However, one thing has to be always kept in mind that these organisms, when they are alone, okay, that time, what is not needed? They are not able to fix atmospheric nitrogen. It is only once they come in association with leguminous or non-leguminous plants that they start fixing atmospheric nitrogen. Okay, we were talking about nodules. When you have a nodule and you cut it, the central part has what color?
Red or pink.
Red or pink. Why do you think it is red or pink?
Due to presence of leg hemoglobin.
Of leguminous hemoglobin.
Why is human blood red?
Because it
Because of the
contains
presence of hemoglobin.
Yes, so hemoglobin makes anything red, and nodules also have hemoglobin. Leguminous plant nodules have hemoglobin. Because it is leguminous hemoglobin, so we, in short, what is the word? What do we call it?
leg hemoglobin.
Leg
Leg
hemoglobin.
hemoglobin.
Very good. So we have understood about how examples of organisms which can undergo associations to form what? Symbiotic
Nodule.
association. And why do they go for symbiotic association? So that they can fix what?
Nitrogen.
Nitrogen.
Yes, so that they can fix atmospheric nitrogen. Okay, now we move on to nodule. I think you know what is nodule. Everybody knows what is nodule. Outgrowths on roots which contain what hemoglobin?
Leg
Leg
hemoglobin.
hemoglobin.
Okay, see, this is nodule formation. This is the diagram. Okay. Chali, first reading. 2 minutes to read. Then we'll move on to the diagram. See, nodule formation takes place in many steps. It is not that it is formed in one step only. There are multiple interactions. Multiple interactions means the process will be completed in many stages or many steps between rhizobium and roots of the host plant. If I say rhizobium and roots of the host plant, I am taking an example of what? Leguminous or non-leguminous plants?
Leguminous.
Yes, leguminous. How did you get to know it is leguminous? Because I talked about?
Rhizobium.
Very good. I talked about rhizobium. As I told you, there are multiple interactions, there are multiple steps. So let's understand. First of all, this bacteria, rhizobium, it starts multiplying. Multiplying. Okay, number increases. So many rhizobia are formed. Rhizobium is singular, rhizobia plural. They multiply and they colonize. Colonize means they all come together. They don't go away from each other. They stay together and they surround the roots and get attached to the root hair cells, the outer epidermal cells of the root hair. You remember when we did the structure of roots and root hairs, we said the outermost layer is epidermis. So all of them will get attached to the epidermal cells of the root hair. What is the first step, children? What starts multiplying?
Rhizobium.
Rhizobia. And after multiplication, the increase in number, do they go away from each other or they stay together?
They stay
Stay
together.
together.
What is the word to show this that they are still there only?
Colonize.
Very good. So multiply and colonize. Now they have increased in number. They have become very powerful. Now they start attacking. Okay. The plant. How will they attack? The first part where they'll get attacked, they'll attack or they'll get attached to is what? Which part? Cells of the
Root hair.
Root
root
hair.
Root
hair.
hair.
See this. This was it. These are the root hairs. Can you see? This is soil particles, some of them, and so many bacteria over there. That means multiplying and what was the word multiply and which is the second word?
Colonize.
Colonize.
See all of you. So many rhizobia over here. Singular is rhizobium. It multiplied. So we got so many rhizobia. So they multiply, colonize, and now they're going to attack. Which what they'll get attached to? They're attaching to what? What are these yellow ones coming out?
Root hair.
Root
Root
hair.
hair.
Root hair.
Good. So they'll attach to the outermost cell layer, that is epidermis. So obviously they're going to get attached to, this is the first step. Do it in steps. Prepare this topic in steps only. It's a very important topic. They get attached to the root hair cells. And which cells of the root hair? Epidermal cells. Okay, beta? Now second, step number 2. Infection thread is produced carrying the bacteria into the cortex of the root. Okay, now root hair is curling. Second step is this. The root hair is curling. Can you see the curl in the root hair? When so many bacteria get attached to this epidermal layer of the root hair gets what in shape?
Curl.
Curl. Second step is okay for everybody. In the first step, we had single rhizobium. It multiplied. We had a lot of rhizobia. Multiply, colonize, they got attached to the epidermal cells. Now, because so many of them have got attached to the epidermal cells, in the second cell, you will see this hook-like structure is formed. What is getting this? Who is getting curled? What was the structure? Yellow ones?
Root hair.
Root hair. Very, very good. Now, one by one, they will start entering the root hair and start moving inside. They are already in the epidermal layer. So they will move to the next layer, that is cortex. They will reach where? The cortex and pericycle cells. Now they're going to go inside cortex and pericycle. This structure which is formed by movement, one by one, continuous movement, this is infection thread. What is this called?
Infection thread.
Yes, if you can see, all of them are going inside. What are these who are going inside? What are these dots inside the root hair?
Rhizobium bacteria.
Rhizobia.
Yes, rhizobium. Earlier they were outside. See, they were all out. Once it becomes curled, they enter from here one by one, one by one, one by one. They start moving. This is called as infection thread. And they will reach, they've already entered the epidermal cells. Now they reached which place? Cortex and pericycle cells. Where have they reached now? Middle beta. What was that middle portion called as? Cortex area. What was it called?
Cortex area.
Cortex area.
Once they reach here, once these bacteria have reached here, they are released. What happens to them? They get released. The bacteria are released into the cells. And because of this, differentiation of specialized nitrogen fixing cell takes place. Now, because of this infection, these cells of the cortex and pericycle, they differentiate. You have done the definition of differentiation. What is differentiation? Class 9, I think you have done. Differentiation. Cells take up a specific. What is differentiation? Class 9, tissue, I think is a chapter you've done. What does differentiation cell mean? Differentiation, de-differentiation, redifferentiation. Of course, you don't know. But differentiation you remember or you don't remember? If you don't remember, don't worry. Supposing there is a class in which there are so many students. We assign separate work to separate groups. This is differentiation. Similarly, in plants and animals, we have so many cells. You know meristematic tissue, meristematic cells, you remember?
Yes, ma'am.
What
Yes,
are
ma'am.
meristematic cells? What are meristematic cells? Cells which have the capacity to divide continuously. What are these cells known as? Meristematic cells. Okay, beta?
Meristematic.
Yes. And these meristematic cells, after some time, take up a specific shape and function, and then they stop dividing. This process is called differentiation. Meristematic cells, they take up a specific shape and function. Okay, these cells will be involved in transport. These cells will be involved in heart activity. Accordingly, they take up a function and a shape. This process is called differentiation, and then they are known as, they stop dividing. Permanent cells. What do we call these cells as?
Permanent cells.
So first we had meristematic cells which keep on dividing, the number of cell increases, and then the process of differentiation starts. Each cell differentiates itself, means it takes up a specific shape and function. This process is called differentiation. And as soon as the process of differentiation takes place, these cells, they stop dividing. This you must have done in class 9th. A quick revision now. Look at this word now. When bacteria are released into the cortex area, differentiation of cells takes place, means the cells become special now to take up a function. And what is the function? What is the differentiation they have taken up? Nitrogen fixing cells. What function they have assigned themselves after differentiation?
Nitrogen fixing cells.
Very good. Nitrogen fixing cells. So nodule is formed for fixing nitrogen. Now they have decided after differentiation that the function is to fix nitrogen. So nodule is formed, and this nodule establishes a direct vascular connection with the host. See, this nodule is formed, this yellow nodule. It will get connected to the vascular bundle directly. Okay, what was happening in the first step? What were these yellow?
Soil particles.
And what are these long structures, two long yellows that I've shown you?
Root hair.
Yes. Who is surrounding root hairs in multiple number?
Bacteria.
Rhizobium bacteria.
Which
Rhizobium.
bacteria are we talking about?
Rhizobium bacteria.
Rhizobium. But there are so many in number, so we should call them as what? What should we call them? It's plural now.
Rhizobia.
Rhizobia.
Very good. We call them as rhizobia. So many rhizobia have surrounded the root hair. Now, what will be the second step? These rhizobia get attached to. Where do they get attached to? What are the two words in the first step we were using? Multiply and?
Colonize.
Very good. Now, after they multiply and they colonize, what happens in the second step?
They get attached to those cells.
Yes, they get attached to which cells of the root hair?
Epidermal.
Yes, that is very important because the outermost layer is epiderma only. So they will get attached to the outer cells, that is epidermal cells of the root hair. What will happen to the root hair? The shape of the root hair is going to change. What shape it's getting?
Will curl.
Yes, it will curl. So a hook-like structure is formed, and then we have an infection thread. All these bacteria are going to go inside. Which area have they reached of the root hair now? The middle portion, what was it called?
Cortex.
And after they reach cortex, which process is initiated? I told you the name and I explained what is that process. What is the process? This word should be there in the answer.
Differentiation.
Differentiation of.
Differentiation. Differentiation always means cells take up a shape and a function, fixed shape and function, and then they stop dividing. So they have differentiated and they have taken the function of doing what?
Nitrogen fixing cells.
Nitrogen fixing. Okay. Now these nodules, they contain all the important things which are needed for nitrogen fixing, such as the enzyme nitrogenase and like hemoglobin. They contain both these enzymes. Where did you read the word nitrogenase? See this. You remember this enzyme?
Yes, ma'am.
This was needed now to convert nitrogen to ammonia. So they already have, these nodules already have this enzyme nitrogenase, and they also have like hemoglobin. This enzyme nitrogenase, what is this enzyme? Basically, it is a protein. protein which contains these two elements. Can I have the names of the elements? The symbols are there on your screen.
molybdenum and iron.
Very good.
Molybdenum and iron.
Very, very good. Molybdenum and iron. So I just told you about this enzyme nitrogenase, because without this enzyme, nitrogen will not convert into ammonia. And now they have taken the function of nitrogen fixation. That means they need to convert nitrogen to ammonia. So if they have to convert nitrogen to ammonia, they will need this enzyme nitrogenase. So nitrogenase is present. It's a protein with main elements of molybdenum and iron, and catalyzes the conversion of atmospheric nitrogen to ammonia. We have already done this about this enzyme over here. See, what was the function of this enzyme? See over here. It converts nitrogen to
Ammonia.
ammonia. What did we study about this enzyme? It's a protein, basically. With which elements?
Iron and molybdenum.
Yes, very good. Okay. Now, and catalyzes the conversion of nitrogen to ammonia, the first stable product of nitrogen fixation. What is the first step of nitrogen fixation? What is the product? First thing which is formed when nitrogen fixation takes place, beta, it is ammonia only, which is the first stable product. Other things which are formed, they get converted. Which is the first stable product of nitrogen fixation?
Ammonia.
Ammonia.
Ammonia. So nodule formation, there's a diagram over here. This is soybean plant. They've given you an example of soybean. I think everybody knows these are root hairs. The surrounding cells are which bacteria?
Rhizobia.
Rhizobia. And then they attach themselves. What shape is this now?
Curl.
Curl shape. And what is this called? Thread-like structure. This is called which thread?
Infection thread.
Very good. So once these bacteria reach the cortex, they get the cells of the cortex to differentiate so that they can perform which function?
Differentiation.
Differentiation takes place so that they can perform the function of fixation of nitrogen. And all those cells which are involved in this process, they come together and this nodule is formed. Two very important enzymes which are present in the nodules are, tell me the name of the enzymes.
Nitrogenase and leg hemoglobin.
Yes. That is why when we cut the nodules, the color inside is
Red or
Red
pink.
or pink.
because of the presence of
Leg
Leg
hemoglobin.
hemoglobin.
leg hemoglobin. Okay. So we have done about nodule formation with the help of diagrams. Okay. This part only is left in the chapter now. Tomorrow only this much is left, but this is again a little complicating part. So this is the only one which is left.